Hey y'all, it's Nikki. I have to tell you about Tecovas boots. I finally have a pair and they're handmade, high quality, stylish, and comfortable. I even got them customized with leather stamping. The folks at Tecovas will help you find just the right pair. So swing by for yours at the Tecovas flagship on South Congress or their store at the Domain. Plus, good news, they just opened a new store in Georgetown at 709 Main Street for those of y'all that live a little further north. So come shop with me at Tecovas. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, it's been another busy week in Austin news, and we're here to bring you up to speed. We're talking Pecan Street Festival changes, a failed effort to take over Austin's government, a church that's building housing on the east side, and our weekend plans on this week's Friday News Roundup. It's Friday, March 28th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hey, y'all. I'm here with our amazing newsletter editor, Kelsey Bradshaw. Hey, Kelsey.
Hello.
And our executive producer, Eva Ruth Moravec. Hey, Eva Ruth.
Hello, hello.
And it is Friday.
Woo!
Wow, that was almost in unison.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was adorable. Actually, this is a non sequitur. I'm going to start right off the top. Shout out to dogs that howl.
Love them.
It's my favorite thing in the world that I forget until because my dog does not howl. And I was at band rehearsal the other day and my drummer's dog, Jagger, howls. And our guitarist was playing and he's like, oh, I was like, what is, it was, I just like,
That's
my
awesome.
entire body got excited. So anyways, sorry, shout out to dogs who howl.
Love them
yeah, I wish my
every
dog
day.
howled. He's so quiet.
It's the cutest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Anyways, happy Friday, y'all.
Finally.
Ooh.
Oh, God. We can't stop her now, Nikki.
Yes.
You have activated the
this is
howler.
Monster.
Yeah, the entire episode will just be Eva Ruth howling. Welcome.
You're welcome.
We're so glad that you're here. It has been a busy week. A lot has happened. I want to start off with what I think is probably the thing that shooketh me the most, and that is Pecan Street Festival moving to Bee Caves. Kelsey, what is happening?
Listen, when I saw this, I was like, this is the shock of the century. I think this is such like a crazy local news story. So Pecan Street Festival, if you don't know, it's where vendors, artists, musicians, they take over 6th Street. And 6th Street, of course, used to be called Pecan Street. And it's a festival that's held a couple of times a year. And this year is the 50th year. The festival announced the other day that it was is going to be moved to Bee Cave and it's going to be held at Hill Country Galleria. And that alone is shocking, but I think the reasons for it are also wild. So if you've been listening to our podcast, reading our newsletter, you would know that 6th Street has been updated. It allows vehicle traffic on the weekends now. They've put in a bunch of rubber curbs and bollards and fences and all this stuff to keep people on the sidewalks. And it's an effort to reduce crime and just reduce the mayhem that happens on 6th Street. But it also has apparently led to this festival being moved.
It's the most ironic and funniest thing to me, but also very sad that they're trying to fix this problem with crime. And in the process, they're like, sorry, giant festival that has gone on for 50 years.
I mean, listen. It is called Pecan Street.
Yes.
What are we doing?
It's not called Hill Country Galleria Street.
It is far. That's the
It's
other
not
thing.
in Austin. Yeah.
We are not talking. It is far.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like a big outside mall. Yeah.
No, thank you. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's this is the meme of Austin right now. I feel like this is the meme stories, this thing that used to be so Austin for 50 years. And now they're it's getting moved out to the Burbs Mall.
So y'all know what bollards are? It's those yellow pole things.
Barricadey things.
Barricadey things.
They're in the street.
So there's bollards on 6th Street now. And festival organizers said that the installation of those would have forced them to significantly shrink the size of the event, according to KView. Organizers said they were assured by city leaders for months that they would be able to produce the festival without those impediments. However, they were ultimately told that the bollards would stay intact, eliminating nearly 100 booths from the festival's floor plan, making it impossible to produce without a financial loss. And like, that is just so shocking and crazy to me.
That's not cool. They changed the whole plan.
Well, and I feel like, was it not a thing that they were like, yeah, we'll still be able to shut down the street for things like South by Southwest?
They absolutely said that. They absolutely... That's the part of it that pisses me off. This whole thing, they were like, no. Nothing's going to change. This is going to be better. It's for safety. And then when we want to close the streets down for festivals, we can do that in a safe way. Nothing's going to change. And now they're like, Pecan Street, you know what? It's been cool for 50 years, but we're ready to move on. It's like the epitome of what is happening in this city right now. It's just like, I can't even overstate how ridiculous it is that something that is so special to the city, something that is so iconic to the city, and that honestly, like, I just don't remember a time when I didn't go to Pecan Street Festival. It's just something I've always done.
Yeah.
Is now so easily and like quickly being like, we're going to scooch y'all on out into the hill
and I'm not going out there. Yeah.
And not only to the hill country, to a Galleria. Like,
just to an outdoor mall. Yeah.
That's not affordable. Let's be very clear about that. It's not an affordable place.
Right.
Well, and I remember when I was in college in San Marcos, I remember like one of the first things that I like experienced in Austin was Pecan Street Festival and being like, wait, this is so cool. Like, what a cool city. And like, you know, I've been to lots of street markets or whatever it's called, but there is just something about Pecan Street Festival. Like, there is something about it being on this like drunk road.
Yeah.
I'm happy that they moved it for the sake of these vendors. Like, I think that's like a really cool, like Austin way of living, right? Of being like, no, we care about our vendors. We don't want them to lose money. And also it sucks. Like,
yeah. And how many of those vendors are going to get the same experience out of it way out there?
Pecan Street Festival is the exact thing that they say they wanted, and was the reason that they opened up the street. It's so that
oh my God, that just gave me goosebumps.
So that businesses can make money, so that people could see 6th Street as a business district.
A daytime thing.
A daytime thing, not just for drunk people. And so now, the thing that we have that's for small businesses and during the daytime and for families.
God, that's so crazy when you just laid it all out like that. I'm shocked all over again.
They talked about like all this flexible use of it. So it would make sense for them to be able to like do that.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a King of the Hill episode. To me, this just screams King of the Hill episode. Like, small town festival is popular, 50 years, does all this great stuff, and then all of a sudden they're moving to the burbs. Like, why couldn't they just like pivot it to Congress?
It sounds like some bullshit is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, and the other frustrating thing about this is that the September Pecan Street Festival doesn't have a home yet.
Oh, no.
There's a new show coming to the Zach Theater, and it sounds incredible. Y'all have to go check out Bob and Jean, A Love Story, written by Robert Schenken, a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright. So when Bob is deployed overseas and Jean tours with the USO, distance tests their devotion like never before. It's a wartime romance that captures the rush, thrill, and doubt of falling and staying in love. And y'all, this is a true story drawn from Schenken's own parents' letters. And it reminds us that even in the hardest times, love endures. So check out Bob and Jean on stage through April 19th. You can get your tickets at zachtheater.org. That's ZACH theater.org. Just off the Texas coast sits a unique beach town marked with salty vibes and sun-soaked memories, Port Aransas is a place where family traditions unfold naturally, and beauty lies both in island views and the unhurried moments between adventures. It's a place where multiple generations can get together under one roof to share slow beachfront mornings and cool Gulf breeze evenings. An island escape with 18 miles of shoreline to cast your line, kayak with the kids, or simply cruise the coast in a golf cart. One visit, and you'll see why generations of Texans have anchored their traditions to the island life. Start your new favorite family tradition in Port Aransas, Texas. Go to visitportaransas.com and plan your visit to Austin's beach. I want Pecan Street Festival to be successful. I want vendors to be able to make that money and get that change. But I also want this to fail because I want them to come back to where it belongs.
Yeah.
We have these few little things, not few, but we have these like few little things that are ours. And so, you know, either we want to hold on to them, we want to hold on to the spirit of Austin, or we don't. We want to turn into something that we're not. Speaking of turning into something that we're not.
Oh my
That was
God,
so
I
good.
didn't even see it coming.
I saw it coming and I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Amazing.
Even Ruth.
I got it. I got your layup. I'm taking the ball. Or that's not the right. Whatever.
That's
obviously,
fine. It works. It works.
We are
Alley-oop.
sports.
Alley-oop. It's coming to you.
There we go. So Briscoe Cain is a state representative from Deer Park. He's a Republican. He's been at the ledge for a few sessions now. He seems a bit like a divisive character, but he's also kind of funny. Anyway, I think he was trying to be funny by filing this bill, HB 274, which would have allowed the state to basically take over governing Austin. It was going to create the District of Austin, like D.C. This kind of legislation has happened before, and it kind of never goes anywhere. So Briscoe Cain's bill to create the District of Austin, the creation of the district would help address crime. And he said, quote, from carjackings to open drug use blocks from this very building, the failures of Austin city government have made clear the seat of Texas government should be run by the representatives of the people of Texas. And everyone else said no.
Yeah, it got laughed out.
The police chief of Austin, Lisa Davis, was like, yeah, no, thank you. We got this. Then this bill actually had a hearing and, you know, Briscoe Cain tried to make his case. He didn't really give it a ton of effort, I'll say. And then it did get laughed out of committee. They literally all voted unanimously to kill it, which is saying something. There was agreement.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah, thank you, but no thank you. We'll take it from here, Briscoe. We got this.
The fact that this was maybe filed is like you're saying, like maybe he was kidding, maybe it was a joke. I think that pisses me off the most. Like there are real issues, there are real big problems.
Yes.
Like people can't afford to live, we can't afford our groceries, etc. And he's like, you know what?
You know what we should do? This is what we should do.
Yeah.
It's such a waste of time and kind of like
come
mocks the
on.
whole process. Like somebody
Let's
has
go sit
to
down
write
somewhere.
these bills.
Like, please.
But here's the thing. If he would have come with like a well thought out proposal, like this is how it's going to
Right.
help Austinites. This is what's going to happen. But instead, it's given succession. Like I'm going to secede. It's like yeah,
Yes.
buddy, we get Texas always trying to secede. We get it. Now, like it just it's tomfoolery and clownery.
Absolutely.
I
It is
I just can't handle it.
100%.
As if every other city in Texas doesn't have carjackings or like drug use on the streets. Like, where are the facts, Briscoe? Is there a perfect city that has no crime?
And for what it's worth, other lawmakers were like, sir, the FBI says crime is going down in a lot of ways in Austin. So he's like, I don't need statistics.
It's also because, like, Austin is the liberal city of Texas, but like that's not true anymore. Like, like every major city in Texas, I'm like voted blue. You know what I mean? Like, buddy, go bother the other liberal cities. Leave us alone.
And you know what's funny about this is that I kept hearing this name Briscoe Kane, and that is really close to the name of a performer that has this one song that I adore. So I kept hearing Briscoe Kane. I was like, oh, that guy is coming to town. I'm going to have to get tickets. It turns out, no, it's this idiot.
Nikki shows up to the hearing. She's like, this is not.
Hello, I'm here for the song.
Yeah.
Play the
District
song.
of Austin. Get out of here. Stop
She's
messing with me.
Weird that this concert is being held in the Capitol.
This is so weird. But you know what? Go off, King. Let's get to it. I'm ready to dance. No, it turns out it's someone else
She's
completely.
like, I have to wear business casual?
God,
Suddenly, this has turned into an intimate date with Briscoe Kane and Nikki.
Let me tell you, this will not be the first time that I showed up to a date thinking it was a different person. Let's start there. Let's start there. First of all. Second of all, Briscoe Kane sounds like a fake rapper name. Second of all. So I don't think I'm far off. I don't think that I'm far off the mark.
You know what? He would probably like that. I think he would like being confused for a rapper, and he would be like, you know what? He might even drop a beat about next time, Briscoe, let's hear it in rap form. If you want to come back at the District of Austin, we're going to need it in a song.
He might even drop a beat.
From now on, he will be MC Briscoe and nothing else.
I'm literally coughing from you saying, Briscoe Kane, drop a beat.
Wait, did I do that wrong?
No,
was that right? Kind of wrong. Okay.
I mean, the rappers don't normally drop the beats.
Drop a beat, Briscoe.
Maybe we have a talented rapper on our hands. Sometimes they produce.
He's a triple threat.
He's a triple threat. Briscoe, stop playing with us. We got more important stuff to talk about. One of which is affordable housing.
Preach, Nikki.
Mount Zion Church in East Austin is taking affordable housing into their own hands, sort of, in a way. They're trying to convert 10 bungalows that are on their property and turning them into 80 apartments for affordable housing, specifically for seniors in the community and church members. So they're working with Capital A Housing, which is like a local affordable housing developer, to build these like 80 apartments. And they already own the land. It's on East 13th Street, and they want it to be like a campus with the apartments, and they want to have a gym and an exercise center and all of this stuff. If you're in the Black community, you know that Mount Zion, it's like one of the oldest Black churches in the city. It is not the oldest. It's what we call like one of the pillar churches of the city. The median value of homes on the east side has doubled in the past decade, and that's faster than anywhere citywide. So Reverend Horton says that half of his congregation commutes to services from nearby suburbs, where many of them have had to move to look for cheaper housing. His congregants cannot afford to live in the city where this historical Black church is. He says it's such a tragedy to see how quickly East Austin has changed, but what a joy it would be for people to be able to spend their twilight years where they started. Y'all know that I used to spend 3 days a week in church. When you're in it and you're going to church all the time, that is your family. That's your community. So when my family was going to church, that's it. We only hung out with people and we helped each other and we supported each other. And I feel like it's such a nice thing to think about. Like, okay, so we're going to prepare for when our seniors get older and make sure they can stay in this community. I am obsessed with this. And another good thing to know, so other churches evidently have done the same thing. So declining attendance has made some churches consider selling off portions of their land so that they can raise money. The conference that oversees United Methodist Churches entered into a partnership with Foundation Communities 5 years ago, and they demolished this old church from 1960s called Ward Memorial Methodist Church. It was built in South Austin, and they built 135 apartments.
Wow.
That opened last year, and they're rented to low-income people, and a small portion of them are set aside for families that have been living on the street. In addition to that, St. Austin Catholic Parish has owned land on UT campus for more than a century, and their building was like falling apart. So they were thinking like, okay, let's sell off an acre or two here or there for like stores or whatever. They changed their mind. And instead, they built like several stories high affordable housing. And so it's like the interesting thing about this is that back when a lot of these churches in the city were built, the boundaries were smaller. So that we're on the edge of the city. And what used to be the edge of the city is now central city. So it's like prime real estate and one of the only ways that people are able to get affordable housing in the city.
Wow.
It's really exciting.
That's cool.
It also feels like yet another way that the community is stepping in and figuring out solutions for something that city leaders seem to have a hard time with.
Well,
yeah.
I would say like it takes all of those solutions. I mean, I think that this is great. I think like churches being creative and, you know, it's a way to maybe get people back to church too, you know, and like rebuild that community feeling that you grew up with. That I think like it's helpful to have all these partners because nobody's going to get it 100% right. And they're not also going to be able to solve 100% of the housing issues that we have, you know?
Hey, Ruth, you're so nice. You're right. You're so gracious. I'm like, see, city, see, it's so easy.
Keep going, everyone.
Well, and I think, Nikki, to your point, like this is what church is about.
Yeah.
Like this is what religion is about, is like helping your neighbors and being there for your neighbors and creating community. And I think like doing a thing where where people can live in the same space and have like an exercise center and have it be like a real community place. Like, I think this is why people think like college is the best time of their life, because everyone is nearby.
Right.
You have a gym that you're a part of and like it's all within walking distance. Like, it's because when you grow up, nothing's in walking distance and all your friends are in different areas. And I think like, I'm so jealous. I want to live here. Like, this sounds great. I wish I was a senior.
Okay. And y'all, it just dawned on me that this is what like religious Jewish people do, you know, and even if you look at Austin's Jewish community, it's mostly centered around the JCC up north. Like there's the HEB that has kosher food, you know, kind of need a balance of like people who are different than you also. But I think there's a lot of benefit to that, you know, concentration.
There's just benefit to being with your people and with your community and getting back to where you're from kind of thing. Like these people have had to move to the outskirts of the city to take back their space. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's like, the thing is, it kind of is the responsibility of churches. Like that is you know, your community and serving people. At least churches I grew up in. That's kind of the point. But when I think about it, like my mother, if I think about my mom, like church is really important for her. That is her social interaction sometimes. Like those are the times that she gets to get out and talk to people. It's nice and controlled. So she doesn't, you know, it's like, I know I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to my little 2 or 3 hour service, depending on who catches the spirit. And then I can come home. I can hear music. I can hear the word. Like, you know, it's a big deal for, I think, everyone, but especially when you start to get into your, you know, get up into your 70s, your 60s, your 70s, 80s.
Right.
That is your social interaction. And so like the idea of being able to stay in that area and not having to go far, like,
very cool.
It's, you know, so all I'm saying is, it makes me feel a lot better because, you know, I have a tumultuous and complicated relationship with church and religion, but this is what I like to see. So shout out to Reverend Dr. Daryl Horton, pastor of Mount Zion. Let's get these 80 apartments. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know what else is a great idea?
What is?
Doing fun stuff on the weekend.
All right, Kelsey. Look at that.
I always jump into a transition and I'm always so confident and then it comes out. It's so lame.
You did just ooze confidence with that.
You know what?
That was so confident and so sure.
So lame.
You're like, yes, bitch, I'm coming in. I'm ready for my double Dutch moment. I like it. What are you doing this weekend? What are you excited about? What are you doing? What do you got going on?
I'm like shy now. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing really.
So my whole family, my parents and my brother are going to be in town this weekend for a wedding that we're all going to. And my best friend Leah from college will be here too.
Aww.
And I think I'm going to do my like first dip of the season because everybody's like, where can we go swimming? Can we swim? There's like a small chance of rain on Saturday and hopefully it dissipates because I want to head out to Barton for the first time of the season. And that sounds really fun.
Now that it's all clean and redone.
And like my parents have never been. And I love taking people to Barton for the first time who've never been. And I'm like, yeah, this is like the majority. This is like why people live here.
Oh my gosh.
So,
your parents have never been?
No. Nikki has never been either.
Y'all, listen.
I said, this is why people live here. And the look on Nikki's face.
Disgust.
She said, not me. That's for sure not me.
I didn't say it. I just
She said it with her eyes.
I know everybody loves Barton Springs. I'm not trying to shit on y'all's baby. I know y'all love it. But I am cool. I'm good. I don't need the seaweed. I don't need the critters. I don't need it. I don't need it. But I understand it for what it is. And I love that you're taking your family. I love that you're taking your parents.
What a beautiful PR answer.
I
So
absolutely want to hear what Ron has to say about it.
I do too.
Absolutely. Because I feel like Ron is going to have some feelings that might be a little similar to mine.
Yes. He'll have ideas for improvements too, I think.
Probably.
I want to hear his thoughts.
He'll be like, that's a big hill.
That's a big hill. And I think that Ron will be like, I could do without all this seaweed tickling my feet. That's what I think Ron is going to say. Because I feel like he and I are on the same page. Every time somebody comes to visit me and they're like, oh, let's go to Barton Springs. I'm like, here's a map. Here's the address.
Here's a towel. Good luck.
Here's a towel. I will pick you up when you're done. No, thank you.
Oh my God. I'm so happy it's about to be summer. I totally forgot this part about you. I'm going to bother you all summer.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
Deep Eddy for me all day.
Yeah.
Deep Eddy all day for me. And now that I've gone to Pool Burger, it's even better. Deep Eddy all day.
Pool burger forever.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Listen.
I love pool burger.
I almost hurt myself with that food. Anyways, sorry.
Mhm.
I totally derailed us. Eva Ruth, what you doing?
I'm hoping the weather is not great, actually, because I'd love a little rainy weekend.
Okay.
Because there's some movies that I think would be fun to watch. And if you, too, like a dark movie theater on a rainy day, Austin Film Society Cinema is showing Silence of the Lambs and also Young Frankenstein, which they're both such fun movies. That's a weird thing to say about Silence of the Lambs, but it's a great movie. I don't like horror movies, but it's such
great.
a psychological thriller, and it really stands up. So I think it's fun to watch during the daytime. At the safe time of the day, I would watch a slightly scary movie like Silence of the Lambs, and Young Frankenstein is very funny. And I'm also very into watching Parker Posey's movies these days to honor her amazing acting in The White Lotus. So that's what's on my calendar is some cow trot and or a visit to AFS Cinema. Nikki, what about you? I'm sure it's quite the opposite.
So look here. I am still tits deep in celebrating my sister's birthday. I don't know if y'all know this. My sister's birthday was on Wednesday.
Yay! Happy
Shout
birthday!
out to my sister. Happy birthday. It's her 45th birthday. So I am recording this from Vegas. And so your girl is tired. So my weekend is going to be very, very low key. First of all, for those of you that like disgusting crawfish, I find them gross. But for those of you that like it, ATX Crawfish Kickoff Festival is Saturday at Republic Square Park. There's going to be crawfish, music, drinks, dancing, games, food, and bands from 3 to 9. And tickets start at like $12, and kids are under 8 are free. Where I plan to be at some point this weekend is Honk TX. And Honk TX is, y'all, I mean, it's like my top 5 favorite thing that happens in this city, period. It is a 3-day marching band / brass band festival all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's at venues all around the city. On Friday, it's kind of more at like bars and stuff. You can look it up on their website. Saturday, it's an all-day festival at Mueller Park. It's kid-friendly. And then Sunday, it culminates to Sunday at Pan Am Park with like back-to-back bands. And it's just like music and bubbles and food and weirdos. And you just sit and on your picnic blanket or in your chair and listen to music and watch people dance. And it is just so reminiscent of just like old school Austin. And it is free. If you're looking for something for your little rugrats to do, something to tire them out, take them to Mueller State Park on Saturday, let them run around, listen to some music. They have interactive stuff. If you've never gone to Honk, like seriously, even if you're not a band nerd like me, you need to go. It is so fun. It's so Austin. It's so weird. It's just hippie central. I don't know. Yeah, I love it so much. Anyway, that's where I'm going to be.
Fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's all volunteer run. It's amazing. Hopefully they won't go to the Galleria.
Move that to
Because I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's my favorite thing. Yeah, it's the only thing that I will like brave the bees for. Honestly, I show them my EpiPen. Yeah,
nice. That is a commitment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I take my EpiPen everywhere I go. But that's a time. Normally, if I see a bee, I'm like, I'm out. I don't want to deal with it. But Honk, I will sit on the ground and I will stay.
Nice.
To listen to music.
Nice. So. Before we head out on our fun weekends, wanted to give a quick RIP to a couple people that are important in our community here in Austin. One is Carlton Carl. He passed away this week. He was a one-time publisher of the Texas Observer, had been on the board for a long time and was a huge supporter. He was 79. He had this really interesting career. He spent some time working in Texas Democratic politics and state and federal governments. He was a gubernatorial press secretary, chief of staff to a Speaker of the House, worked for a member of Congress, and he, after like 24 years in D.C., he sold his house and decided to move to Martindale and ended up buying several buildings there. And basically, like, he's known as, this man who kind of revived a lot of Martindale. Anyway, so he passed away this week, and it's a big loss for the Observer and others in the Democratic Party. And then Carol Keaton also passed away this week. She was 85, and she was the very first and only woman elected to be mayor of Austin. And she also served as our state comptroller. Born and raised in Austin, and she was mayor in 1977. Comptroller in 99. She also called herself one tough grandma when she was campaigning against Governor Rick Perry as an independent. She ran to be to push him out. So RIP to Carlton Carl and Carol Keaton, and thanks for all that you did for Austin.
Look at that. And on that note, we out. Thank you so much for rounding up the news with me this week. Goodbye, Kelsey. Goodbye, Eva Ruth.
Goodbye.
TTFN.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. Our executive producer is Eva Ruth Moravec. Our producers this week are Zoe Culkin, Lizzie Goldsmith, and Selena Cia Reynolds. And I'm your host, Nikki Devon. Our Hey Austin newsletter editors this week are Kelsey Bradshaw and Natalia Aldana. Music is by Nelson Valente Aguilar of Como Las Movies, with additional music by Bossa Band and Francois Couture from Triple Scoop Music via Getty Music, and Coma Svensson from epidemicsound.com. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.